Lonnie J.
How you doing?
What's going on, young man?
Man, I'm just living the life.
Oh, man, thanks again for doing this. I appreciate it.
Hey, it's my pleasure.
Where's Austin at?
Where's
I
that?
think I'm waiting on my producer. I think he's going to be on here in a little bit. I think we're live in 4 minutes. This is what I'm thinking. Well, I guess actually we're live right now, and I had no idea. That's my bad. Welcome to the Get You Happy On Hour. I'm your host, Ricky C. Simmons, on 93.7 The Ticket. You know, to be real honest with you, I'm down here in Greenville, Texas. And as you can see, straight out of College Hill. Been at the College Hill reunion all day today. We had a great time, and I just want to thank everybody for coming out for that. I want to give a big shout out to Kiwanis Club. You guys are really being supportive of what I do. It means the world to me, and I appreciate it. And also, I want to give a big shout out to everyone that's supporting the Get Your Happy On movement. I think that's very important because there's enough negativity already being covered, so we don't need to cover that. You know, I was just sitting here thinking, and to be really honest with you, man, coming home for this little stretch here, I've been here for a few days, and it's really gave me opportunity to reset and refocus. Something about coming home always helps me focus on the things that are most important, you know, and that's one of the benefits of being able to return to my hometown of Greenville, Texas. Very proud of Greenville, Texas. I'm proud to be from Greenville, Texas. You know, doing good and being encouraging and trying to uplift other people is a very, very important thing to me. And I look for people to follow that path. And I happen to be fortunate enough tonight to have a guest that's right in line with what I do. And I want to take this opportunity to introduce y'all to my guest. Lonnie J, welcome to the show, man.
Man, Ricky, it's so good to be here with you. I'm excited.
Well, great, man. You know, Lonnie, you've done a lot of stuff in this radio and podcast world. And usually you're on the other side. You're always the one that's doing asking the questions.
That's true.
Yeah, well, tonight we're going to reverse that. I'm going to ask some questions, and you get a chance to answer some questions. Is that all right?
I'm a little nervous. Don't
be nervous, man. This is the Get You Happy On hour, so I just want you to share what you're comfortable with sharing, and we're going to start it off with where did Lonnie come from?
Well, originally I came from Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn, okay.
And when I was a young teenager, my dad got a job here in the Dallas area, and we moved from New York to Dallas. And I wound up being in Dallas, Fort Worth for a good part of my teenage life. And then we wound up moving to Houston, and I spent about 4 years in Houston, and then wound up moving back up to the Dallas area.
Okay. Now, you grew up, you say, in New York?
Well, till I was about 13 years old, I lived in New York.
Okay, and then you left. That's when you left?
Left and came to Dallas, Fort Worth,
okay,
and was here for most of my high school time. And I graduated high school in Houston, and then
okay.
After a couple of years, I moved back up to Dallas because I just wanted to be back in this part of Texas.
Got you. Now, when you say you moved back, so when did you actually come to Greenville?
Well, that was about 8 years ago, and what happened was I was knocking around looking for something to do Uh, I was working different jobs. I had owned my own insurance agency for 11 years.
Okay.
And in 2010, my wife passed away from pneumonia.
Wow. Okay.
And I was looking for some direction. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was married for 34 years, Ricky,
Okay.
and I didn't know what to do. It's all of my adult life I was married, and now I find myself by myself. I have the kids, but they were all grown and out of the house,
Right.
and so I was trying to figure out what it is I'm going to do. And I knocked around different jobs. I just didn't know what I wanted to do.
Okay.
And a friend of both of ours, a mutual friend, Bill Salomon,
Yes.
he called me up and he said, "There's a theater in Greenville, Texas called the Texan Theater, and it has been closed down for decades. And this woman had purchased it, and she was completely redoing the theater. And the very first thing that was going to happen there was going to be the play The Odd Couple, and he was going to direct it.
Wow.
And he said to me, I want you to come to Greenville, Texas, and do the play. And I told him, Bill, I'm not coming to Greenville, Texas to do a play, right? I've been by Greenville 100 times on the freeway, but I never got off the freeway, right? So it was just a little spot on the map, right?
Right.
Well, over the next couple of weeks, he called me about 10 more times. And finally, I said, you know what? I'll come do the show. So I came up to Greenville, and I was just driving back and forth. And I met Barbara Horan, the owner of the Texan.
Yes.
And
That's my buddy.
we did a lot of talking, and she said to me, I'm looking for a technical director to run all the sound and everything in the theater. And I said, well, that's not me. I'm not a technical guy. And she said, what do you do? And I said, well, I do public relations. And she said, let's talk next week. So I came and talked to her. We talked for about 2 hours, and she wound up offering me the position of public relations and artist liaison for the Texan Theater. And
Okay.
that's it.
Wow. So that's how you got involved with that.
That's how I got involved in Greenville. And for the first year, Ricky, I drove back and forth from Dallas to Greenville
And you was doing this every day, or
every day. But the hours got so bizarre because I was dealing with all these celebrities that she was bringing in, and I'd get finished with them sometimes at 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I'd have to be back up there at 6 in the morning, and I wasn't getting any sleep. So I finally decided to move to Greenville.
Wow. Well, I'll be honest with you. The move from Dallas to Greenville had to be somewhat of a shock.
But it was great because now think about this. I had been driving back and forth and working in Greenville for a year.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I was going to a place I didn't know.
Right.
It was just for the purpose of being convenient, so I could end my day and go home and be there in 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's a lot different than getting back on 30, heading back to Dallas.
That was the thing. And here's the thing. I said to myself, when I'm done with the job at the Texan Theater, however long it is, I didn't know how long it would be, I was going to move back to the Dallas area. And I wound up being at the Texan for 4.5 years.
Wow.
And that's where I met you.
Yep, absolutely. And it's kind of funny because, man, I had no idea that before I met you, that's how you actually came about being a part of the Texan. I mean, that's a big commitment, man. You were driving back and forth. I mean,
but look, I was getting to work with people all the time, like Roy Clark and Billy Bob Thornton, and you name it. I was working with them, And so it was a great job to have.
Well, actually, speaking of all the people that's came through the Texan, big shout out to Barbara Haran. I mean, I, uh, I every time I come to Greenville, I go to the Texan, and it's like a little standing joke with me and Barbara because that wall she has in there with all the people that have been guests.
That's right, the Wall of Fame. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, and I always go in there just to make sure she hasn't taken my picture down. And she knows it, so she's like, as soon as I come in, shortly after we say our hello, she's like, "You need to go check the wall, right?" I'm like, "Absolutely."
That's funny.
Yeah, I don't want my picture taken down. So
I like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, she gets so many big time people, and that wall fills up, man. So she's done a wonderful job of rearranging that wall, I'm sure, several times to fit everything in.
Well, it's not only that wall. There's been so many people. It goes up the staircase and everything else. So
yeah, I mean, but that's a beautiful. I mean, what she's done with the Texan is beautiful, man.
Oh, it's unbelievable what she did to that theater.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they pass by it and they don't even think about it. But man, if they would actually take the time to go inside, maybe have a cup of coffee or grab lunch and look around, I think they'll be really impressed with that, with what she has done there.
Yeah, there's nothing like it anywhere in the area.
Oh no, I mean I mean, you just wouldn't even expect something that nice to be in downtown Greenville.
But Ricky, I got to tell you, in that 4.5 years, the experiences that I had from working at that theater are unbelievable. I got to work with hundreds and hundreds of some of the most well-known people in the world. And it was just an amazing experience. And a lot of those folks have remained friends to this day.
Yeah. But that's one thing I can give Barbara credit for too. When she gets people involved, it's not just business. She seems to make it personal too, so that they have a friendship and a relationship that it's a business relationship, I understand, but she makes you feel so welcome, that you want to come back.
It was like a family there. So
Correct.
Absolutely.
And I mean, every time I come, I always come and I always go down there. I've been down there once. I'll probably go down there again, because I just I love the atmosphere because it's upscale, but it's laid back.
Yes.
And that right there is very inviting to me.
It's a great place.
Now, after you left the Texan, what did you do next?
Well, as I told you, I said whenever I'm done with the Texan, I was going to move back over to Dallas. And as soon as I was done at the Texan, after 4.5 years, I didn't do that. I went to work at the radio station in Greenville.
Greenville it hooked you in, huh?
Once you get in, it's almost impossible to get out. And I did a morning show on KGVL, which is the rock station. Yeah. I did a morning show there for 1.5 years, and I had a great time. I had an absolutely fantastic time. Something I always wanted to do was radio my entire life, and I finally got the opportunity, and I loved it, and I still love it to this day.
Well, one thing I can say about when you went to that radio station, man, you had quite a bit of success. And, and I want to congratulate you on that. I think, sometimes when you change professions, sometimes you have to kind of get your traction before you really have some success. But you seem to have made a real smooth transition from the Texan to the radio.
Well, and I'll tell you what made it an easier transition. When I worked at the Texan, I used to go to the radio station twice a month and go on the air to talk about the shows that were coming up at the Texan. So I was already familiar with the radio station, so it was an easy transition to go over there. But I also wanted to interview some well-known people, and because of all the experiences I had at the Texan, I was able to get some of those people to come on the air and interview with them. And so it all worked out really well.
Well, good, man. Because you definitely got to meet a lot of people in the time that you were at the Texans. So
Absolutely.
that had to work in your advantage. Uh, you stayed at the radio station for how long again?
So the first time, because I've been there twice. The first time I was there for a little more than a year and a half, and then COVID happened, and everything was different after that. The world changed completely,
Right, right,
um,
right.
and then I had some really bad personal tragedy in my family that I had to deal with at the same time that COVID was going on, the exact same time. And as you know, with COVID and everything else, it was over a year before we got back to doing anything.
Yeah,
So
well, yeah, COVID did kind of put everybody in a different space. I uh, I I understand stuff happens, and COVID was just one of those things that I don't know. I mean, I guess nobody saw it coming, but it definitely changed the way people carried on in their daily lives.
it did. It changed everything. We couldn't go anywhere. Everybody was locked down, and it wasn't for a couple of weeks. It was for a year and a half or 2 years before we got back to really doing anything.
Yeah, well, the good thing is, for now, anyways, we've kind of, gotten a little bit of a handle on it to where we can kind of get back to what we would call normalcy,
Right.
And I'm very thankful for that.
Well, I can tell you, knowing me and knowing you, we're anything but normal.
Yeah, I don't know what gave me away, but I definitely got to agree with you.
I've seen you running around the community. I know you.
Hey, but you know what though, Leonard, the thing I like, man, is I really I have this mindset, of being positive and happy. And I think a lot of people are not real sure if it's real or not. But one thing I can honestly tell people is it is a lifestyle for me. I like being happy, man. I'm not saying my life is perfect. That's
It,
not that's
it
not
is real with you.
yeah.
For people who
I,
don't think it is, it is.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, because I genuinely am trying to be happy every single day, because when you've been through some really, really, really tough times, it's easier to appreciate better times.
Yes.
And we're going to take a break in a few minutes, but when we come back from that break, I want to get into some things that you was talking about tragedy.
All right.
And I want to talk about that. So I'm trying to figure out what time we want to go to break here, but I'll say it this way: why don't we just take a break right quick, and then we'll come back and we'll go into the other parts of the story. Okay?
Sounds great.
Hey, you guys, do not go nowhere, man. We're on 93.7, the tickets to Get You Happy on the Hour. We'll be right back.
Acres, your John Deere dealer, is offering hot financing on all new compact tractors. For a limited time, get 0% interest for 84 months when you buy any new John Deere compact tractor. And with a variety of attachments, you'll make quick work of chores around your acreage. From mowing to grading and moving large loads, Acres has a John Deere tractor to handle your toughest projects. Don't delay. Visit your local Acres store to take advantage of this great offer. Acres, solutions for every field. Offer expires September 30th, 2023, subject to approved credit with John Deere Financial.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts, and service teams are ready to serve you this planting season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is hiring and seeking motivated applicants. Gray offers a second-to-none benefit package that includes health, dental, vision, 401k, paid vacation, and paid holidays. They offer great pay and tuition reimbursement or a tool purchase program for qualified candidates. It's a fun, friendly team with lots of variety and work assignments, so there's something for everybody. View and apply for their job openings today at grayusa.com. Visit them in person just off I-80 and North 56th Street. Come be a part of the Gray difference.
The Southern Pecan Cake from Beatrice Bakery. They don't just let you call anything Southern, especially when it's baked right here in Nebraska. There are standards you have to meet, like a rich, decadent, moist caramel cake? Check. Bursting with too many large pecans to count? Check. Big enough to share with the whole group? Check. But delicious enough that you won't want to share? A big check on that one. The Southern Pecan Cake, the newest cake to the Beatrice Bakery lineup. Try it for yourself at Beatrice Bakery, online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Warning, this ad will use the F word often, so listen at your own risk. Family fun, fun with friends, freedom from fuel, free Yeti cooler, free driveway delivery. Hey, this is Carl from Nebraska Golf Carts and Price Right Auto, and we have the all-electric Bentelli Fun Carts, and they are a blast. Plenty of fun colors, and these street-legal carts come in both 4 and 6 passenger. Tell us you heard us on the ticket and get a free Yeti cooler with your purchase. Hurry, supply is limited. Check them out at 1235 West O in Lincoln or NebraskaGolfCarts.com.
Muchachos has been Lincoln's leader for New Mexican barbecue for a few years now, and they've expanded into Omaha. That's right, you can get all your favorites like the pipeline burrito with 3 meats, rice, beans, queso, and crushed chips, or any of their great taco options in Lincoln or Omaha. Plus, they want to give back, as the Malachi Coleman Giverito, a 2-meat hatchback burrito, gives proceeds to the Fly Like Kai Foundation for the Lincoln foster care community. Stop by Muchachos in Lincoln at 11th and L or in Omaha at 1258 South 13th Street.
Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and changing lives for the better in the process. Their team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5695 or go to NovotnyNutritionandWellness.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior.
Get ready for an unforgettable night at Ignite Lincoln 15. On September 14th, Rococo Theater will come alive with captivating stories from diverse voices that inspire change and spark connection. You'll hear from 12 passionate speakers, including our 5 nonprofit finalists, who are making a real impact. Be part of this remarkable event that celebrates the power of storytelling. Secure your spot now by purchasing tickets at ignitelincoln.org and join us in creating a brighter future together. Don't miss your chance to experience Ignite Lincoln 15, a night of inspiration, community, and possibility.
Back to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
Well, we're back. Just to get the Happy On Hour, man, and I'm really, really excited here on 93.7 The Ticket. And I'm coming to y'all live from Greenville, Texas. I got to give a couple of quick shout-outs. I got some people that was at the college year reunion today that they done chimed in on the show. Big shout out to, I call him Twofold, but his name is Alton Ashford. Man, I appreciate you tuning in. Shauna Mayberry, you and Brad, thank y'all for coming out today, and meant the world to me to see y'all. So, hey, man, y'all keep supporting what we do, and thank you for supporting the show. Lonnie, I was, during the break, I was thinking about, man, I'm just recapping a little bit, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but, man, you went from not wanting to be in Greenville and commuting back and forth to moving to Greenville, and then you thought you were leaving, and then you end up transitioning to the radio. Man, Greenville got a hold of you, Lonnie.
Well, I I have to tell you, to be honest, that just a few months ago, I did move down the highway a little bit to Rockwall.
Oh, okay. So you
But,
split the difference.
But I go to back to Greenville all the time because what are you going to do? You got to go. I got to go to the Texan Theater and do all those things, right?
Absolutely, man. I mean, again, we got to show love to Barbara Haran, man. That Texas Theater is amazing. She's been more than generous too, man, with helping me personally. She's done a lot for me, and I can never repay her for that. But I do just want to say thank you, Barbara. I hope you're listening. Lonnie, before the break too, we was discussing that some tragedy happened. I think it was around COVID. I'd like for you, if you're comfortable with it, because I know a little bit, but if you're comfortable, man, we got some time here. I kind of would like for you to go into detail on exactly what that tragedy was and share with all our listeners and the people that are watching too.
So my daughter was married to this guy, and together they had 2 children.
Okay.
Charlie and Noah, my grandsons, Charlie and Noah.
Okay.
And they had problems in their marriage pretty much the entire time.
Okay.
And it was a very difficult situation. It sounds like I'm defending my daughter. I'm sure it takes 2 to tango in everything you do. But he was verbally a very abusive and controlling person. And it was a bad situation. Went on for several years. And of course, they wound up getting divorced. But they lived about 4 streets away. So half the time, the boys would stay with my daughter. The other half the week, they'd stay at their father's house. And they were able to go to the same school because the houses were just 4 streets away.
Okay.
So this went on for a few years, and it was working out okay for the boys. It wasn't a problem. But their father decided that he was getting married again, and he married this woman, and then all of a sudden told the boys that in a week he was moving with her to Florida.
Wow.
So they were upset because their father was moving out of state.
Now, wait, hold on there a second. How old was the boys at that point?
At that point, 11 and 8.
11 and 8. Okay, go ahead.
So he moved to Florida with his new wife, and they lived down there. And because he lived out of state, he couldn't see the boys that often. So he would have them for a month in the summer and a month at either Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Gotcha.
So that year, it was 2019, December of 2019.
Okay.
He had the boys for a month for Christmas. And at the end of his month, he called my daughter from Florida and he said, "I'm not sending them back. I'm just keeping them."
Wow.
Well, he didn't have custody of them. And because he was out of state, my daughter had to get an attorney and go to court. But now we're not dealing with one state of Texas. We're dealing with Texas and Florida. So there were 2 judges involved, one in Texas and one in Florida.
Wow.
And after about an extra month, the judge in Florida agreed that the boys needed to be returned. But he was still not going to answer the court, and he wasn't going to return them. So my daughter flew to Florida, went to the court. The judge got some police officers to go with her. They went to his house and took the boys. The police did.
The police. Okay.
She went back to the airport, and they came back to Dallas.
Okay, so she got the boys back and brought them home.
This was January of 2020.
Okay.
Just a couple of months before COVID.
Okay.
Fast forward 2 months, Ricky, and he came to Dallas to see the boys, and he was staying at a hotel on the tollway, the Dallas tollway in Dallas. And he had the boys, and he was supposed to bring them to school the next morning. They had important tests to take at school.
Okay.
And school called my daughter. The boys didn't show up for school. So, of course, we were afraid he took off with them again.
Yeah, probably went back to Florida.
That's what we were really concerned about. Well, some people that we know finally tracked down his car, and it was in the parking lot of the hotel. And,
Wow.
and so the police were called, and they went to the hotel, and he had killed the boys.
He what?
Killed them.
Oh no.
He shot them both, 12 and 9 years old. And that was a phone call we were not expecting to get, Ricky.
Wow.
And that was on March 10th of 2020. It was just a few days before everything shut down for COVID.
He killed his two sons.
Yeah, my grandsons.
Wow.
And I have to tell you that not only were we dealing with that, which pretty much destroyed my entire family, but COVID at the same time. Everything was shut down. So even if we wanted to go out for normalcy, we couldn't because there was nothing going on.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So it was a combination of all of that together. And it was still to this day, it's a fight for me every day to get up every day and go through and do the things that I need to do, because those boys were my life, and that in an instant they were gone.
You know, man, I mean, I can't even begin to say I know how you feel, but I can understand. One thing I do understand is that concept of what you just said. Life can change in an instant. I mean, I don't really know what to say to that, man. I mean, I guess my next question would be, I know you'll never get over it. I get that. But what I guess what I want to know is what happened to the father at this point.
So he had killed them earlier in the morning, and he stayed in that room all day
with them in there.
And when the police came, because the hotel called because he had not paid the bill for the next day, and they couldn't get any response. So the police came and knocked on the door, and when they couldn't get in, they started to force their way into the room. And when they were about to enter the room, he shot himself.
He shot himself?
So that's what happened to him.
Wow.
And if you don't think evil exists in the world, you're not looking in the right place, because it does.
You know, Lonnie, I mean, I know it. I know evil exists. I've seen evil firsthand. Maybe not to that extent, but I've seen some evil, and I know that it's real. And you know, and unfortunately, you can try to explain that to so many people, but they only see it when it really pertains to them.
Right.
When, as long as it's happening to someone else, it's not the same. You know, and I guess, you know, my next question is, man, how does your daughter deal with that?
Well, she's not dealing with it very well. She has not had, it's been about what now, going on 3.5 years. and
Okay.
it's hard. That was her whole world.
Right.
It was her and those two boys, and it's not much of a life for her. And to be honest with you, I worry about her every day, Ricky, because one day I'm going to be gone, and she's got a full life ahead of her, and I don't know how she's going to deal with that for the rest of her life. It's just something you don't ever get over it. It doesn't ever get better. You think that it might be getting a little bit better, but it's not, because then their birthdays come up, and the day that it
Right.
happened comes up, and
Right.
Thanksgiving comes up, and Christmas comes up, over and over and over again, and it's fresh every single time when you're not going to buy Christmas presents for them. You're not going to get that birthday cake for them. And so you
Right.
relive it over and over and over again.
I mean, like I say, that's not one of those situations where you can say, I know how you feel, because you don't. Even if you've had a similar experience, you still don't know how a person feels, because everyone's different. That's why they call us individuals.
And
Go ahead.
I'll tell you, it was national news. It made national news. The newspapers were calling. She didn't do it, but Dr. Phil wanted my daughter to come on his show, and she wasn't going to go to that circus. There was a lot happening, and there was a lot going on. It was very difficult.
Well, now this is not going to sound very good coming from me, because I like to focus on the positive, but it's just amazing that a negative tragedy like that is, and don't take this the wrong way, but I just don't understand why that is such a big story, when the fact that people do good.
Sure.
You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
When good things happen, it's like whoever's covering the news is like they go blind temporarily when good stuff happens, but then they regain their vision when negative stuff happens. I mean, I hate to hear that this happened to your grandson. Please.
But so here's the message, though, Ricky, is that, as I mentioned to you, it's a struggle every day. Every day.
Right.
There are times throughout most days of the week when I just want to say, you know what, I don't really want to do any of this anymore. I just want to go away somewhere and not let anybody hear from me again. But you can't do that, because there's other people that count on you.
Correct.
Not only your family, but other people. When I post things, and I'm sure you of all people, you're maybe the most positive person I know. And I watch your videos and your posts all the time, because they uplift me. On Fridays, when I can watch a video with you playing music and doing your dance on, that helps me. It helps me. And I know that things that I do, that I post, and places that I speak help other people, because they tell me. So you have to continue to do what you need to do, because other people need help.
I've heard that. I'm so glad you said that, and thank you for the compliment. I've heard it from different people. To be honest with you, I'm just being me, and being me is like letting people laugh at me when I make those videos, because everybody knows I can't dance. But it doesn't matter whether I can dance or not. It's the fact that they laughed or they smiled when I tried to dance, because for those few seconds, they got some sort of relief, and, I think this thing called life is about trying to help others. And there's a certain level of satisfaction that comes on the inside from helping others. But my personal opinion, we live in such a takedown society. There's not a lot of people really thinking about others. It's all about self, me. And, and I recognize that. And that's why, I'm thankful for what you do, and knowing that you're doing it under the conditions that you just shared with us, man, that's special. Because like you said, it's easy to give up. It really is.
You can still find happiness even through tragedy. You can find happiness. Simple things matter to me. I love doing the radio shows, and I love interviewing people just like you to find out more about them and to let people see who they are. That stuff makes me happy. And so that's what keeps me going every day, is knowing that there's opportunities out there to do good things.
And Lonnie, I'm gonna say this, man. I'm gonna encourage you. First of all, thank you for sharing that, because you basically made yourself real vulnerable right there to the public. And a lot of times I agree. Everybody's going through something.
Right.
You know what I mean? But some choose to hide it, mask it, or whatever the case may be, versus bringing it out in the open. And tonight, man, I just can't thank you enough just for being transparent. You know what I mean? That's hard for people to do, man, because nobody wants to look bad. Everybody wants their life to look like it came out of a fairy tale. And that's not the case in today's society, man. Everybody's got something. It may not be as bad as mine or yours, but they got something. And they put on this facade to try to get them through the day, and that's fine. But see, my deal is, as long as you're doing what you're doing and I'm doing what I do, I think we're making a bigger impact than we both realize. Because I'm just sitting here thinking back over this interview, man. New York, Texas, then this tragedy, then COVID.
It's a long and winding road, isn't it?
It's a very long and winding road.
You don't know where you're going to be. I never thought I'd be where I am today. How could a kid from Brooklyn, New York, wind up working with celebrities in Greenville, Texas?
That's a good point.
You never know.
Yeah, you would think it would be just the opposite.
That's right.
Someone in Greenville would go to New York.
That's right.
And work with celebrities.
That's exactly right.
You did just the opposite. But see, that's why I make statements like, God has a sense of humor, because I would have never guessed that. But I tell you what, don't go nowhere. We're going to take one more quick break, and we're going to come back with Lonnie J on 93.7, the ticket to get you happy on hour. Y'all stay with us.
USTOP is a proud member of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association, promoting local businesses through education, networking, and local government advocacy. This is why USTOP sponsors the LIBA Business Hour on the ticket 93.7. Every time you fill up at a USTOP on a Tuesday, USTOP donates 2 cents for every gallon sold to local charities in our community. This month, USTOP has partnered with the Boys and Girls Club of Lincoln. Stop by USTOP and fill up every Tuesday to help us fuel our community.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness. And now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is Nebraska's premier NIL company. And with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Are you tired of living in pain? It's time to take control. At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, we're your one-stop shop for expert care in Lincoln. From broken bones to complex reconstruction, our skilled team will help you get back on track. Visit prairieortho.com today and discover why we're the trusted choice for thousands of patients. Don't let pain hold you back. Take the first step towards a better, pain-free life with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins. Call 402-489-4700.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
LES is hosting an EV Ride and Drive event at Haymarket Park on Sunday, September 24th. Attendees can sign up to test drive a variety of electric vehicles. Visit les.com/drive to learn more.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Join us at this year's Ignite Lincoln 15 at Rococo Theater on Thursday, September 14th for an inspiring night of stories that spark change. Get your tickets at ignitelincoln.org. Don't miss this chance to be a part of something extraordinary.
Old School with DP and J.
You know, earning a black shirt is a great honor. I mean, obviously you got coaches that haven't been here before, but at the end of the day, they understand somewhat of what it means. And the majority of the guys, or the guys that got them, they must be doing something right. For me personally, you know, that was just something I never forgot, man. It was just when I was on campus, because I never envisioned myself doing anything until my senior year.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
Hey, we'll be back on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Get Your Happy On Hour. Man, I've learned a lot about my guest, Lonnie J. Man, hats off to you, man. You've overcome a lot of adversity, you know, and I like for people to take a minute and just think about what they've heard tonight. You know, adversity is an equal opportunity employer. It doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care what your personal beliefs and your personal thoughts. It doesn't care about any of that. It will strike and it will try its best to take you completely out. But I think it depends on the person, but I think it's really important that you never give up. Even when you think there's no hope, never give up. And I want everyone to just sit and think about this, man, because it's very important. You know, it's, I don't know. I don't even know how to word it, you know, but I will say this. Adversity is going to be what it's going to be, but you do have a choice. You can give up and give in, or you can fight. And I know right this minute, I know two people. One is me, and the other one is my guest. We chose to fight, and we're still fighting. It ain't over. I mean, like you said, it's a day-to-day thing. You know, again, before I forget, I'd like to say thank you, Brett, you know, for tuning in, and Vicky, thank you, and Dennis, Mary, for coming to the reunion today, man. That meant the world to me to see people drive all the way from Dallas, like Lonnie was doing so often, to spend a little time with them, you know, at the college reunion. That means a lot. I just want everybody to understand something. When I say adversity strikes, this is one more reason why you always hear me say I take nothing for granted. You know, and I can pretty much say with confidence that Lonnie J don't take nothing for granted either.
Not anymore.
Yeah. Well, see, and it took what it took. And that's the same for me. It took what it took for me to get to there. I mean, for so long, I took so much for granted. I mean, I took everything for granted.
Right.
But, man, when life gets real, it's a much easier thing to accept being humble, being thankful, being grateful for every little thing you got, because nobody owe you nothing. Nobody owes you nothing. And sometimes, you know, I hate to say this, but a lot of times people they pretend they wish good for you, and they really don't. You know, Lonnie, man, again, I just got to thank you. I do have one more question for you, but before I forget, I want to thank you, man, for being honest and open and transparent with us, man, because that takes courage. You know, I mean, because I know that couldn't have been fun, but you had the courage to do it. And I just wanted to say thank you before we ran out of time. I wanted to personally say thank you, and I wanted everyone to know that I appreciate this.
Well, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And I consider you a good friend, and I'm happy to talk to you anytime.
Well, we're going to be talking some more in the future, but I still got one last question before we get out of here. Throughout all the adversity and all the tragedy that you have had to endure, how do you get your happy on?
Well, you know, I have a lot more family. You know, we lost my two grandsons, but I have a lot more family. And when I get to spend time with them and friends and other people that I really care about, that's what does it for me. It's not about things anymore. You know, I'll be honest with you, Ricky. I got to pay my bills, and so I go to work every day.
There you go.
If I could do anything, if I didn't need the money, I would spend my time with people not only that I care about, but also people that I could help. That's how I get my happy on.
That's fair enough. Hey, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, man. It means a lot to me. I want to end the show the way I always end it. Every day you blessed to see, it truly is another day in paradise. And no matter what, you got to get your happy on. Go! Thank y'all for tuning in.
Acres, your John Deere dealer, is offering hot financing on all new compact tractors. For a limited time, get 0% interest for 84 months when you buy any new John Deere compact tractor. And with a variety of attachments, you'll make quick work of chores around your acreage. From mowing to grading and moving large loads, Acres has a John Deere tractor to handle your toughest projects. Don't delay. Visit your local Acres store to take advantage of this great offer. Acres, solutions for every field. Offer expires September 30th, 2023, subject to approved credit with John Deere Financial.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Hammond. This week's specials through September 5th are $2 off 8-ounce grass-finished sirloins. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week and every week. Plus, big news. They have 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat